Gori, Ombonge, and the Kamban advocates.
Yes. For how long have you been in practice?
I've been in practice for the last continuous 15 years. Yes, my lord.
15 years.
Yes, over 15. This is my 16th year now.
Your 16th year.
Yes, I was admitted on 15th July 2004.
Yes.
Yeah.
Give us your legal philosophy.
My legal philosophy is that I'm a dynamist. I'm a person who believes in change, who believes in actual change dynamic, in a sense that we make the laws and jurisprudence to the effect that it keeps on changing progressively as the demand arises from the communities.
Yes.
Yes.
Where do we place that in jurisprudence?
It is it's placed on
you think about it?
Yes.
Honorable AG.
Thank you, Chair. Learned Counsel, how does the Constitution secure judicial independence in the institution of the judiciary?
The Constitution, it is under Article, I've forgotten the article of the judiciary, and it is separated. It has separated the three arms of the government, that's the judiciary, legislature, and the and so we have the three arms of the, they are separate entities.
Did you get my question? How does the Constitution secure the independence of the institution of the judiciary?
By giving the judicial officers powers to act without any interferences from outside forces in the delivery of justice.
Anything else?
And also in these functions, and it is empowered in the sense that the judiciary is the guidelines, they are spelled out in the Constitution and it's protected.
All right, go and review your Constitution again. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, TCJ.
Thank you, Chair. Give us 10 laws that you will be applying once you are an ELRC judge.
Under the Act, that is the Employment Act, the judge has 10 duties.
I said, give us 10 laws that you will be applying once you become an ELRC judge, not what the Employment Act provides.
I pardon your leadership.
What laws will you be concerned with when you are judge ELRC?
I will be concerned with the employment laws and the ELS, we have the rules which are applicable and the Employment Act itself.
And let's go to another question.
Yes.
When is an employee entitled to severance pay?
Self?
When is an employee entitled to severance pay?
Severance. It is when he has moved out of his place of work, that those are expenses outside his or his remuneration.
You need to check on your law. Finally, the judiciary is the weakest link in the fight against corruption. Would you like to discuss that?
Judiciary is not the weakest link in fighting corruption. It is that at times there are forces from outside, and it can be crippled as against fighting corruption from either the other arms of the government, that's Parliament or the executive itself. But it's not the weakest. Once the materials have been put to it, everything put to place, the judiciary has the mechanisms of fighting corruption. And again, it can't fight it alone. It is a process from these other agencies which are supposed to avail evidence before it so that the judiciary can act. The judiciary cannot act without the evidence being placed on it. So it's not the weakest arm of the government.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Wasami.
Wakili.
Yes, Madam. Yes, Commissioner.
There's somebody who has been exposed to precautionary suspension or the interdiction, enjoy the safeguards for fair labor practices. And what are they?
Fair labor practices, he is entitled to it.
Do you know what is precautionary suspension or interdiction first?
Interdiction, I know. It's a person when a person has been suspended from office, has been interdicted, has been sent away from office, from his place of work.
Precautionary suspension?
Precautionary suspension, it is when he's been suspended on condition that investigations are ongoing, is out pending on the investigation.
Okay, I wish you well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Majanja.
It has been said that independent contractors and agency workers have created a significant and controversial problem in employment law because employers use agency and contractors to avoid the incidence of the law of employment. What test has been used to distinguish between employees and independent contractors?
It is, I believe, the independent contractor, like as you have correctly said, is a person who is hired to contract employees for a company, who basically the company comes hires employees from him so that he can be able to avoid contact between the employer and the employees. So there's an agency in between who acts as an employer in this regard, who supplies the employees.
Okay. My next and final question is that the ILO has 8 conventions that set out 5 core labor standards. 5 core labor standards. Can you name any 3 of them?
It is to safeguard wages, security, and wages, security, and the conditions of at work.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner Njeru.
Okay, I'll ask you questions under the Employment Act, specifically in respect to wages. Now, the law has specifically recognized the modes of payment of wages, which are clearly specified. There are many, but could you specify 3 modes of the payment of wages as captured under the law?
Under the law, it can be on daily basis, either on weekly or monthly.
No.
Yeah.
From how are the wages supposed to be paid? The law has specified how it's supposed to be paid. In what form? Could you specify 3 forms through which the wages are supposed to be paid under the law?
Modes of payment of wages, that one after for.
Okay. Yeah. Now you'll check the law later. Then the second thing is that at the place of payment of wages is also recognized under the law. But there's one place where it is expressly prohibited that you cannot pay the wages to an employee in that particular place or environment. Which is that?
That place that is prohibited, that one after for.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, Commissioner Teche.
Thank you, Chair. Mr. Gori,
Yes, Commissioner.
the commissioners have gone through the sample ratings that you provided us with.
Yes.
I just wanted to confirm, I see we noted that 3 of them are submissions
Yes.
in matters that you have handled.
Yes, Commissioner.
Did you also attach judgments and a ruling in various cases? Because we noted that there was a judgment in ELRC in Nyeri,
Yes.
and a ruling in Court of Appeal in Nyeri, and another judgment, Court of Appeal in Nyeri. Did you submit those as part of the sample ratings?
I believe I submitted. If I didn't, I had carried hard copies with me.
Yes, I just wanted to confirm that you submitted.
Yes, I submitted.
So do you recall the number? There were 3 submissions and 3 judgments,
Yes, Commissioner.
but the judgments are written by judges. You get what our concern is, because we call for these sample ratings pursuant to Schedule 1 of the JS Act that requires us to evaluate you on your communication skills in writing. So when some of them now are written by a person other than you, then we are not really able to evaluate you as well as we would wish to. You get the problem there?
I'm getting that.
Yes.
My presumption was that I had submitted the submissions and the outcome of those submissions. That was my presumption. That after submitting this, I got this judgment.
So submissions were 3 and the judgments were 3.
Yes.
Yeah, we had called for 5 sample ratings, but nonetheless, we have read whatever we were able to read.
Yes.
I'll just ask you one question. There is some protection in our legal framework for a category of people who are known as persons living with or affected by HIV and AIDS. So there's some protection at the workplace.
Yes.
Could you tell us at least 2 types of protection offered to that category of people, and the statutes where you are likely to find that protection?
In the Employment Act, there is a protection that is the people with HIV or disability. It's expressly in that act itself, and that one I have to refer.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. I wish you all the best. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Piche.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Council, just one question.
Yes.
Do you want to join the public service?
Yes, Commissioner.
As you are aware, judges are state officers.
Yes.
And state officers are bound by some values and principles that are in the Constitution.
Yes.
They are allowed 8 of them. Could you share with this commission 4 of those principles that will guide you as you work as a judge in this court? 4.
Independency, impartiality.
What do you mean? Independence? What is it?
Independence, as a judicial officer, I will be independent on my work. I will do it with a lot of.
Okay, go on.
Must be impartial, should not have any. When you are discharging your duties, you should not be able to partisan in your judgments.
Council, if I may assist you, I want you to focus to the Constitution. They are very clear in Article 232 of the Constitution. Values that bind all state officers, state organs. And as a judge, you are state officer.
That's integrity.
Go on. I need 4.
Free. Integrity and
okay. Just calm down and take your time. Okay. Could you share the commission, how would you demonstrate and apply and ensure that integrity and value in your court is adhered to and promoted and protected as you discharge your duty? Demonstrate how that value will be promoted in your office as a judge.
Number 1, I will be able to, as a judge, to avoid unnecessary outside force interferences from any quarter. I will be able to work with a lot of diligence, and I will be able to give an informed decision about that.
Okay. Thank you, Council. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Mugenda.
Council, I have 2 questions for you. As you're aware, we want to transform the judiciary.
Yes.
And through the leaders we hire, judges and all that. What is your understanding of the concept of transformational leadership?
Transformational leadership is a state whereby we have to apply to have access to justice, to have it delivered in an expeditious manner, with a lot of, and it must be quality. That's the judgments that we are giving, and also time years to enable us clear the backlogs in the system.
Council, I asked about the meaning of transformational leadership.
Transformational leadership is a
maybe you can change. I can change the question for you, yeah. Council. Would you consider yourself as a transformational leader?
Yes, I do. I consider myself as a transformational leader.
Maybe you can explain to the Commission.
In the sense that I work within the timelines and put in place transformation to embrace the changes which is affecting our community. Like now, technology is assisting. We need to move from the old system to the new system of transforming of where the technology has reached us.
Okay, it's a key concept in leadership. Maybe you might want to just check it.
Yeah.
And thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Koski.
Thank you, Chairman. 2 questions. I've seen in your CV that you keep in touch with the current affairs, book reading, internet browsing, etc. Which title of the book are you reading, and who is the author?
The book I read, that is
It's a long time ago?
It's been a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
My second question is, Who is your role model and why?
As a judge,
The other role model in your
a role
life.
model I have, it is Justice Byram Angaya, who was in Nyeri. The way when he came to Nyeri, we had some backlog, and the way he was handling cases and clearing cases, within a very short time, you could be able to get your judgments. He could give you judgments in 2 weeks' time, but he tells you, if it is ready in time, I will be able to give you notice. And actually, he did that. He gave notices earlier, and they delivered judgments without any delay. And they had cases to finality. Personally, I appeared before him. I had cases to finality within a span of 6 months.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Council. Thank you. Wish you the best.
Thank you.